So good morning everyone, welcome to the morning after show, the morning after the night before. A couple of mornings late here, Monday morning now, but see stuff on, new, back to the channel if you like. I haven't done videos for a while, like I said the other day on my pretty much team talk sort of squad selection video. So Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 3, leaves a very bad taste in the mouth. The result, to be fair, did we deserve to get anything from the game? No. Did Chelsea deserve to win the game? 100% yes. They were the far superior team, the only team who tried to actually win the game. Was I disappointed in the way we played? Yes and no. Did I expect us to set up and defend? Yeah. Was I happy with that? Yeah. Because I like to think we're a better defensive unit than Norwich, and Norwich got absolutely smashed to bits off Chelsea last week. The last thing I wanted was another 5-6-7-0 defeat. 3-0 in comparison to 7-0 is a lot better, but 3-0 is always bad. Would I have taken a 1-0 defeat before the game? Maybe, considering how poor we've been recently. You know, we were dominated by Palace and we were loose against Tottenham. I think the only reason we scored that first goal against Tottenham was because of the crowd, to be honest. So, you know, I would have been thrilled with a draw. The only way we were going to score or win that game was a set piece, much like the Isaac Hayden game of a couple of years ago now. We got exactly what we deserved, really. The only real disappointment was, you know, conceding 3 goals in such quick succession. You know, obviously, especially the first goal. This highlights the defensive frailties we've got at left back at the minute. The first goal in particular, you know, taking nothing away from Reece James, it was a terrific turn and hell of a strike. But, like, you know, Matt Ritchie, I don't know, it's, who do you blame? You don't want to blame any one person really, but Matt Ritchie gets sucked into the central defensive position, which on paper he shouldn't be. And then again, it's a good job he did, because he's the one who won the clearing header. And then the clearing header goes to Reece James, who is where Matt Ritchie should be, or Matt Ritchie should be covering that position. And then that's the whole reason, him getting sucked in is the whole reason that goal sort of occurs. But, you know, we've got 3 centre-backs. You know, you'd like to think between Kieran Clark, Jamal Lascelles and Emil Kraft. Hold on, sweetheart. Sorry, I got my little girl here with me. That they could deal with that situation. So, it just makes you think, like, who is in control of that back 5, back 3, whatever. You know, who's the real... I know Jamal Lascelles got the armband, but I don't know, just give you a second to think about that. What's the matter, sweetheart? You okay? Good girl. It just further clarifies that we need someone at the back who can control, who can direct, organise. Because, you know, Matt Ritchie's quite often the one, you know, he gets a lot of praise. And I think, to be fair, I'm not a Matt Ritchie hater at all. I love the way he plays and the passion he shows for the shirt and his leadership and how combative he can be at times. You know, in largely a very sort of bit of a fairy league nowadays. Not compared to Italy or Spain or France, but, you know, bit of a throwback, isn't he? So... But it should be someone in that middle of the defence who should be coordinating things. Now, immediate solutions, Fabian Schär. Now, a lot of people are saying Fabian Schär, you know, why is he not getting game time? And I know he's not as hard, or he's not going to win as many headers as a Jamal Lascelles or a Kieran Clark. But I'll take you back to that draw we had. Was it in Liverpool at home? The 0-0? I think it was 0-0. Where we had a back 5 and Fabian Schär came into that back 5 right in the centre of the 3 centre backs. And he did very, very well. He led well. He pushed out at times and left the other two to squeeze a little bit, but you know, he took the onus, he took a bit of responsibility. I'm not going to go through the player ratings because apart from the defence, no one really did anything. So Maximan had a bit of an off day, but it was just the ball was lumped to him and he was just expected to just create magic. Callum Wilson won a few headers. There was effort, don't get me wrong, but the tactics to Rosalino, sweetheart, the tactics to just frustrate Chelsea and being flawed if you want to win the game, but we were never going to win the game, so it's one of them, you know. Disappointed we got pumped 3-0 at home, but it was a necessary way of playing. I think if we'd have gone for it, I think we would have been soundly smashed to fucking pieces. Another negative I will dwell on is, my God, I know how good a team Chelsea are. You don't have to tell me that they're the European champions. They're top of the table. It's one of the best Chelsea teams I've seen. Yeah, just one of the best Chelsea teams I've seen. I was going to try and go back through the years then, but just one of the best Chelsea teams I've seen. So you don't have to tell me how good they are to tell me that they can press. But when we haven't had the ball for 2.5 minutes, we win it through a mistake or some good pressing or a good tackle or something like that, and then we either play it backwards. We very rarely play it forward. We play it backwards or sideways, and there's just that inevitability that we're going to give the ball away. And like we win the ball, we chase, press, close down, harass, whatever you want to call it, for like 2 minutes. We win the ball, 1-2 touches, and then Chelsea got it back again. There's no respite for the midfielders, for the defenders whatsoever. No respite for anyone, and that was particularly disappointing. Where do we go from here? Brighton away. Obviously, we don't have fond memories in the recent past of playing fucking Brighton. You know, 3-0 home and away last season. That 3-0 away was one of the worst displays I've ever seen from the Newcastle team. So it's okay, well, you know, I'm not getting on the back of the new ownership, but the decision needs to be made now that we need a new manager now. You know, I've heard rumours that Graham Jones will take charge again against Brighton, and then we'll bring a new manager in to sort of bed in over the international break. That's all well and good, but it feels like time is running out now. Now, I was thinking about this earlier. It's a little bit like, do you remember Rafa Benitez's second season in the Premier League? Yeah, the 18-19 season, when we had that really nice sort of really white with the black stripes kit as opposed to black with the white stripes. When we had Rondon and Perez up front that season. Ironically, the last time I watched Newcastle play was at Bournemouth at home, 2-1. Rondon, couple of goals. I had to check the stats. Now, we didn't win till the end of October in that season. Now, I know the end of October has been and gone, but it's only, what, a week and a bit. So, and I don't remember this much panic and hysteria on social media back then. Maybe because we had Rafa, maybe because it was quite a difficult run of fixtures, whereas we've had quite a favourable run of fixtures. You know, we've played Leeds, we've played Villa, we've played West Ham, we've played, you know, the only two big teams we've played so far, like the elite teams. I know West Ham are closing that gap, and good for them. But it's Man U and Chelsea, you know, out of 10 games. You know, we've had a plethora of teams to pick apart. Palace, Watford, Southampton. So it's one of them, innit? I would like a new manager in now. I've heard the news this morning that Nuno Espirito Santo has been sacked from Spurs. What a surprise. Very few, no, actually none. I've not seen any pundits in the mainstream football media leap to his defence, even though he's only been there fucking 10 minutes and he's got a 49% win record, which I know the expectations of Tottenham and Newcastle are completely different, but Steve Bruce won 7 out of his last season's worth of games, and everyone's like, oh, get off his back, you know, he's done a really good job Nuno's been there 10 minutes. Levy's been fucking ruthless. He's gone, and there's nothing said. You know, him Tottenham against United was billed as the who's going to lose their job. You know, yet giving Steve Bruce a 1000th game to say thank you before you sack him is seen as managerial abuse. Gary Neville is spouting turbo bollocks at the minute. I've got a lot of respect for him as a pundit, but the crap that bloke's come out with in the last fortnight is biblical. Sorry, Gene F, but you're better than this, mate. Come on. So yeah, I just find that ironic. Will I take Nuno as a manager? Yes. Will it happen? Him in the time frame we want? No, because you just think of logistics. You know, he's got to move. Say he's been sacked Monday morning. If we approach him, say Monday afternoon, you've got to do terms, contracts. Him moving from London up to Newcastle. You know, him selling the. I'm assuming he's got a missus and kids. Selling the idea to his missus. You know, it's not just quite as simple as like transfers on FIFA. You know, when you've got families to consider and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't happen like that. You know, people like Ten Hag, Fonseca, Favre, Roberto Martinez is the leading name at the minute. You know, they've been eyeing up this job for weeks. So plans have been put plans been put in motion. You know, like me saying to my missus, I might be able to move to Somerset or go to London or go to bloody Birmingham in a month's time. You know, we'll have that conversation. It's things are in the making. There's preparations going on, even if it doesn't happen. But to then go, right, we're going tomorrow. Fuck me, that's such, you know, he's a bloke, what, late 40s, early 50s, he's going to have kids in doing secondary school A-levels. It's just, oh. However, if he's willing to do it and come soon, I'd jump, because he progressed Wolves. Alright, with Wolves it got to a certain point you couldn't take him any further, but he progressed really well with Wolves, with financial backing. Obviously not the same financial backing he's going to get at Newcastle in time, but he's shown that he can make smart decisions. He's got a lot of good contacts. You know, like I said, he took Wolves as far as he could, but you know, he did very fucking well with them. So if he's available, you know, if he doesn't, he might fancy a break, because he went, I fucking hate roundabouts. He went from Wolverhampton very quickly down to Tottenham. You know, he might just want to see the rest of the season off. Who knows? Yeah, but we need that new manager, that new voice in the dressing room. And he's, you know, because as much as Graham Jones is a popular figure, as much as he's got obviously good credentials, being the England manager, one of the England coaches. Obviously, he was Martinez's number 2 with Belgium, I believe. You know, he's obviously got a good background as a coach, but it's this. He was the coach there when Bruce was the manager. He had an influence in team selections and stuff like that. So it's basically the same mask on a very similar face, isn't it? Whereas if the bookmakers are, this fucking pelican chin here, if the bookmakers are to be believed, Martinez is going to come in. Now I'm assuming Graham Jones will stay as number 2, or re-become number 2. Martinez will be the manager, but that's just a whole new philosophy, way of thinking, more diverse way of thinking, a fresher approach. Would Martinez be my automatic choice? At the minute, I'd take any one of the favourites, because we need somebody. Now, we know this manager isn't going to win us the league, isn't going to progress us to the Champions League. It's going to be the one after that. It's going to be the one who's going to reap some of the rewards and a bit of recognition and success. You know, we need someone to get us out of this fucking hole that we're in. And to be honest, did Martinez, you know, I think he was Wigan manager, wasn't he? Did all right with Wigan, to be fair. Went on to Everton. I don't remember him that much at Everton. I've got a mate at work who's a staunch blue nose, and he does not rate Martinez one bit. So, and I said to him, you know, would you rather have him or Benitez? And he said, at the minute, Rafa. And that's from an Evertonian himself. So that says it all. My picks at the moment would probably be, I would like Gerrard, but that doesn't make sense either, leaving a team that's top of the league in October, November. That Ten Hag, I think, get him in as manager. I know he's Ajax, but they've got a way of playing a successful team. Obviously, if anything, it's going to be harder, because to a certain degree, because in Holland, you know, Ajax are one of the they're big fish in a small pond, aren't they? You look at the teams that are going to be competing. It's PSV, Eindhoven, Ajax and Feyenoord. That's it, really. You know, in terms of, I know you got your Herenveen and all this lot, but they're the top boys in that league. So there's going to be pressure from above for Ajax always to win. Yeah, you know, there's talk of Mark Overmars being as a director of football. If the two of them go at the same time, is that likely? Probably not. Ajax aren't going to want their whole sort of heart and soul ripped out of their infrastructure in one go. But then again, that might be a case of, right, if we're going to get Ten Hag, Overmars is more likely to come over. But if Overmars has agreed, Ten Hag might be more amenable. We don't know that. I'm rambling now, but I don't know. I saw last night that Roma lost another game. Watch the space. Could Jose be coming back to take over from his footballing father's club at Newcastle in Sir Bobby's footsteps? Finish what he started back in 1999. Who knows? Who knows? Signing off now. I am going to do a video just reflecting more on my feelings, my thoughts about the takeover. Like I said, I wasn't able to do any videos during that time. But yeah, my thoughts about it from, like I've said in my very first video, from someone who doesn't live in Newcastle, from an outsider. You know, I'm all the way down here in bloody Cornwall. So yeah, anyway, we look ahead to Brighton. Hopefully by the Friday Reflections video, we should have some managerial change. You know, even if someone is signed on and they're just watching in the stands, you know, it's progress, isn't it? Then they've got a solid fortnight to work with the players, and not give them fucking 8 days off or whatever Steve Bruce did. Right, signing off now. Ciao.